This is Joel Mantonia, hoping to answer the video discussion on what is abnormality. Now, from my understanding as a whole of everything that we've read thus far, what is abnormality is really anything that deviates from what is considered normal or normalcy. Um, For example, in chapter one of Understanding Psychological Disorders, in 1.5, Overcoming Social Stigma and Stereotypes, I'm going to use the example of tattoos. If, say, in the 50s and 60s, 1950s and 1960s, if you were to see someone with a tattoo, you would assume uh, that they were either dangerous or unsavory person, to use the language of my grandparents, or you would consider them, having served in the military and understanding that that would be where it was from. Uh, or you would consider, back with the unsavory metaphor, the typical stereotype that my generation grew up with was, oh, they're part of a biker gang, which is not based in fact. So that would be a stigma or a prejudice or discrimination against people who had tattoos. Now that I'm grown up and an adult, as one who does have tattoos, I can say that that stigma or discrimination, um, thankfully, is gone. Um, Now, in the context of my nuclear family I grew up with, dad having been a pastor, mom pastor's wife, and my three siblings, I was the first one to get a tattoo, so that would have been considered an abnormality. Um, but in my current family, my wife and my children, my wife also has a lot of tattoos. So to say that it's abnormal in our current context would not be an accurate statement. In fact, today among my generation, millennials, uh, or even Gen X, tattoos are not abnormal. They are a normalcy, or a normal occurrence, whatever you want to call it, and the stigma of you can't get a job or otherwise has virtually all but gone away. So it's safe to say that that has gone away. Now, biblically, from my biblical worldview and in my personal faith, I actually struggled with it because of how. Um, Leviticus 19:28 is phrased in the translations that I grew up reading. Now, when I didn't understand the context of the passage and its desire and its purpose, I understood tattoos to be just an outright sin and affront to to God. But whenever I learned how to read my Bible, um, with context in mind, I understood its true context of what it is and what it's supposed to mean, and so that actually freed me from that stigma of you shouldn't get a tattoo, and if you do, you're breaking the law. The biblical law. Now, culturally, societally, there are different cultures around the world to where tattoos are the norm. Even subcultures, they have the norm. For example, Pacific Islanders, they use tattoos frequently to show what tribe they're from, or the history of the tribe that they're from, or the history of their specific family, or to denote what family they came from, or even what group of islands they come from. And it would be considered an abnormality to not get a tattoo. Now, again, tattoos, just an example. So I want to know your thoughts on tattoos and your interpretation of Leviticus in your understanding of tattoos, and where that fits into your culture or subculture.